G'day guys, Josh here. You may be familiar with this farm in particular. This is called the Shredder Turbocharger farm in Stone Talon Mountains, especially if you've got your rune already. However, this farm is a bit of a gamble farm, as I call it, mainly because you're relying heavily on the drop rate of turbochargers. If it goes badly for you, you lose money. If it goes well for you, you gain a lot more money. However, you do get a lot of engineering materials as well as going through it. Now, the things that you want to have before you get here, you want to have at least between 30 to 40 turbochargers. Make sure you clear your inventory, unlike me. As you can see here, I've just finished it and my inventory is not very clean. And secondly, well, you don't need any professions for this either. You just need the auto salvaging units and a lot of patience. Now, the farm is in this little stone crag area around here. Shredders, there can be one shredder spawn here. There can be two shredder spawns down here. One here. One here. XT9 or XT4 spawns here, XT9 or XT4 spawns here, as well as another shredder spawn here, and another shredder spawn here. There's about 10 shredder spawns. There's the little gnome one up here, which you should always grab as well, because not many people go get it either. But there's about 9 or 10 shredder spawns in here. Now, the downside of this farm in particular is that there's not enough shredders for everybody. So pretty much if there's like 2 or 3 or 4, even 4 people here, it can be quite difficult to get the salvaging and the turbocharging and whatnot, leading the farm to take a lot longer compared to the 1k needles farm and whatnot, where mobs are more common and you can pick it up very easily. Now, in particular, let's just go through a few more details. Now, to set up the farm in particular. To set up the farm in particular for basically for Horde, make sure you go to Orgrimmar or Thunderbluff, doesn't really matter which, they're both similar route for each other, and pick up some auto charges before going in. As I said, I recommended 30 to 40 before, because you don't want to crowd up your inventory, as you'll have a lot of engineering junk or engineering recipes that you'll get from the turbochargers as you salvage them. And you just easily fly into Sunrock Retreat, and then you can just go to Windshear Crag very easily. For Alliance, you want to go to Darnassus, buy your auto salvages, and fly into either Astronar or fly into Stone Talon Peaks. They both take the same amount of time. If you ever watched my Hunter Kill Command video, I say this quite a lot, and I prefer the Astronar route over the Astronar route through Talon Deep Path, as you can see here, preferred to the Stone Talon Peak route, because you just go past Sunrock Retreat, and there's just so many chances that you're going to get ganked. Now, we've looked at the farm so far, and before you want to start the farm in particular, even though I've said it's been overcrowded and whatnot, you want to check the auto salvager price compared to the turbocharger price. Now, as you may have watched my last video, the turbocharger drop rate, from what I've, my anecdotal evidence so far, as I try to make it more empirical as I do more auto salvager farms, is roughly about 50 to 60%. So if the auto salvager unit, also you're going to consider your time as well, is between that 50 or 60% mark, it is not worth doing it, because you are spending 50-60% of the chance of getting a turbocharger, and you're not actually getting any net gold. You're actually losing gold because you're spending time here trying to farm the salvaging mats. If they're 30%, 30 to 40%, it is worth it, because you'll gain 20% of that. Current prices for turbochargers at the moment is 1 gold 40. The salvaging is selling at 55 silver, which is roughly just above a third. So overall, considering my time, I get 20% profit on top of that, which is roughly, let's just say 20 or 30 silver. So I gain 30 to 20 silver every turbocharger I get, and that is over a 40-minute period. So pretty much by getting 18 of these from the 32 turbochargers, I've gained approximately, even before I can't do maths, but anyway, I've gained approximately about, let's just say, give it 2 gold. So you want to check that ratio before you actually do it, because if you do it before you check that ratio and you're losing money, then there's actually no point doing it. Now, there are multiple ways to do this farm. You can just camp this area here, camp this area here, or just do mindless circles, and if you see a shredder, you go kill it. Because there are a lot of spawns all over the place, and if there's only 2 or 3 or 4 of you there, you can't possibly camp all spawn points. Personally, I like this spot the best, given that you can pick up these 2 spawns and the spawn next to the big shredder down here. And also, if you want to, you can wander down here and pick off XT and a few others as well. Alternatively, I do like the running around route, because a lot of people don't pick up this shredder up here, and other areas as well where you can get them for free. Also, I'm going to recommend a little tip as well. If you ever see a shredder dead, you should always double check if it's been shredded. Sometimes people will accidentally kill a shredder mob, either for a quest, or it just got in their way. You know, there's a lot of lowbies from the horde that come in here. Always check, because you might get a turbocharger for nothing, basically. Overall, like my review of this farm, it's not the greatest. It's very inconsistent compared to the other farms. However, you know, it's a big risk, big reward type of play. There's not many world BOEs that you can get from this farm. You can get a lot of engineering mats as well. So if you've got, like, you know, if you need to get heavy dynamite or anything like that, you're going to get a lot of heavy blasting powder from here. So if you want a lot of engineering mats, you're going to get that here as well. But overall, it's just it's a high risk, high reward. I personally prefer different other farms as well that are more consistent. One in particular, of course, as my previous recommended 1k Needles farm, but also the other farm that I'm looking at in the future, which is the Dark Iron Ordnance farm, which is a very, very unique sort of farm as well, which will be part of my next video.